Ok, bạn muốn mình viết lại y nguyên đoạn văn đã gửi. Không thêm, không bớt, không sáng tạo. Đây là bản sao chính xác. Number 15. The danger of perfect sleep. Imagine a world where you have no stress, no deadlines, no worries. Your days are spent in a perfectly controlled environment. At night, you lay your head down on a perfectly soft pillow in a perfectly quiet room. There's no traffic outside, no neighbors making noise, no sirens. You have perfect sleep every night. Sounds great, right? Well, your brain thinks it's a trap. When you're constantly in a state of perfect comfort, your brain's threat detection system starts getting antsy. It's like a security guard with nothing to do. It starts looking for problems that don't exist. This is the counterintuitive link between a lack of genuine danger and an increase in subconscious anxiety. When our bodies aren't dealing with the primal threats they were designed for, like escaping a predator or foraging for food in a hostile environment, they start manufacturing their own. The stress hormones that were meant to help us flee a saber-toothed tiger now get deployed when you can't find your keys or when you're stuck in traffic. Your body's alarm system, in its boredom, starts inventing threats out of thin air. It's a self-sabotage loop, where the very safety you've created is what's making you jumpy and on edge. Your perfectly safe, yet perfectly predictable world becomes a breeding ground for irrational fear, all because your brain has nothing better to do than to start looking for ghosts. Number 14, the anxiety of choice. You're a human in 2024. Your fridge has 1,000 options. Your TV has 1,000,000 shows. Your dating apps have an infinite list of people. This is freedom, right? Wrong. The paradox of choice is a very real, very painful thing. Humans evolved to make decisions based on immediate life or death needs. Do I eat this berry, or will it kill me? Do I fight this rival, or will I die? Simple. The modern world has replaced those simple high-stakes decisions with an endless buffet of low-stakes ones. And your brain, being the simple machine it is, handles them all with the same level of overanalysis. Each time you have to pick a movie on Netflix, you're not just picking a movie, you're subconsciously weighing the opportunity cost of every other movie you're not watching. This mental drain, this low-level decision-making fatigue, is a hidden form of stress. The constant mental gymnastics of what if erode your sense of satisfaction. When you finally choose something, you're often left with a nagging feeling that there was a better option out there. The very abundance that was supposed to make us happy instead makes us feel exhausted and unfulfilled. It's not just a first-world problem. It's a first-world psychological trap. Number 13, the danger of convenience. Think about all the things we've automated away. We have cars, not feet. We have food delivered, not hunted. We have an almost infinite amount of information at our fingertips, not in books we have to actually search for. And while all of this convenience is meant to make our lives easier, it's also making our brains and bodies softer. Our hunter-gatherer brains were built on the principle of effort equaling reward. If you worked hard to find food, the reward was a meal. If you put in effort to build a shelter, you got safety from the elements. This was a core part of the human reward system. Now, we get rewards with almost no effort at all. You order something online, it shows up 2 days later. The thrill is fleeting, and the deep-seated satisfaction is gone. This lack of effort-based reward is a major factor in modern-day feelings of listlessness and a lack of purpose. When your brain gets everything it wants for free, it stops valuing those things. We're losing the capacity for delayed gratification and the deep satisfaction that comes from overcoming a challenge. Our easy lives are making us psychologically lazy, turning us into emotional couch potatoes who get everything but feel nothing. Bạn có muốn mình cũng chép lại nguyên văn cho các số trước? 12, 11, 10 không? Ok, mình sẽ chép lại y nguyên các đoạn bạn vừa gửi. Không thêm, không bớt, không sang tạo. Number 12, the perfect body trap. We've been sold a lie that a healthy body is a perfectly sculpted, gym-built machine. We watch athletes and influencers on a screen and believe that their perfect form is the goal. We forget that our bodies were designed to be incredibly adaptable, to deal with bumps, bruises, scrapes, and yes, even fat. In a perfectly safe world, we obsess over every minor imperfection. We have sanitized our lives to the point that our immune systems don't have enough to do. They were built to fight off parasites, foreign bacteria, and viruses, but in our hyperclean world, they start looking for new enemies. This is one of the leading theories behind the rise of autoimmune disorders and allergies. Your body is a warrior without a war. It starts attacking its own perfectly healthy tissues, mistaking pollen or peanuts for a deadly invader, all because it's bored and has nothing else to fight. The less we expose our bodies to the messiness of life, the more they turn on themselves. It's an ironic tragedy. The more we try to protect ourselves from germs and dirt, the more we weaken our own defenses. Number 11, the illusion of control. Our modern lives are a monument to control. We can control our environment with thermostats, our meals with apps, our schedules with calendars. We've built a world where we can predict every outcome. But your brain, being the disaster planning machine it is, knows this is all a lie. We're wired to understand that life is unpredictable. This is why we have a part of our brain, the amygdala, that is constantly on the lookout for threats. When there are no actual threats, it starts manufacturing them. We get anxiety not from a real tiger, but from the imaginary tiger of a potential job loss, a hypothetical mistake at work, or a worst-case scenario that exists only in our heads. This is the root of generalized anxiety disorder. It's the mind screaming, "Danger," when everything is perfectly fine. The more we try to control our world, the more our subconscious realizes how fragile that control is. We've replaced the danger of a real avalanche with the much more insidious, ever-present dread of a metaphorical one. Our safe, controlled lives are making us paranoid, all because we can't accept that we don't have total control over everything. Number 10, the problem with positive reinforcement. We're all told to be positive, think good thoughts, focus on what's going right, and live in a state of gratitude. And while a positive outlook is great, a perfectly safe life filled with only positive reinforcement is a dangerous thing. Think about how kids learn. They learn from consequences. If they touch a hot stove, they learn not to do it again. If they fall, they learn to watch their step. In our modern, cushioned world, we try to eliminate all negative consequences. We give out participation trophies, we avoid criticism, and we shelter ourselves from anything that might cause a moment of discomfort. This is the psychological equivalent of raising a kid in a bubble. They grow up without the mental and emotional calluses needed to handle failure. When a real, unavoidable negative event finally happens, a job rejection, a broken relationship, a financial setback, they don't have the tools to cope. Our brains were built to learn from both reward and punishment. When you remove the punishment, you create a fragile mind that can't handle the normal ups and downs of life. You're essentially training your brain to be utterly useless in a crisis. Number 9, the physical toll of comfort. We've become a society of seated creatures. We sit at desks, we sit in cars, we sit on couches. We've optimized our lives for maximum physical comfort, and our bodies are revolting. Your back hurts not because you're old, but because your muscles have atrophied from lack of use. Our digestive systems are bogged down by highly processed, easy-to-eat foods that require no effort to consume. Our eyes are strained from staring at a 2-foot screen for hours on end, instead of a vast, natural landscape. Your body is a machine designed for movement and struggle, and when it's denied that, it begins to break down. We have an epidemic of chronic pain, not from overwork, but from underuse. Our perfectly comfortable lives are the very reason for our physical decline. It's like buying a high-performance sports car and only ever driving it at 5 miles per hour. The engine starts to rust, the brakes seize up, and the whole thing slowly falls apart. Your body is doing the same thing. Bạn có muốn mình tiếp tục chép lại nguyên văn số 8 đến số 1 luôn cho trọn bộ không? Ok, mình sẽ chép lại y nguyên đoạn bạn vừa gửi, giữ nguyên nội dung và cách trình bày. Number 8, the myth of the simple solution. We're all looking for a simple answer to a complex problem. Weight loss? There's a pill for that. Sadness? There's a pill for that too. We've been conditioned to believe that for every human problem, there's a quick fix. This is a very modern, very dangerous mindset. Your brain, which evolved to solve complex problems through trial and error, is now getting lazy. It's skipping the hard work of building resilience, learning a skill, or working through an emotional issue. When we rely on simple, immediate solutions, we lose the capacity for deep, long-term problem solving. We become a society of intellectual infants who get frustrated the moment something requires effort. The danger here isn't just that we're getting mentally soft, it's that we're losing our ability to adapt. When a real, unsolvable crisis hits, a pandemic, a natural disaster, an economic collapse, we won't have the mental fortitude to deal with it. We've been trained by our safe lives to expect a magical solution, and when it doesn't arrive, we fall apart. Number 7, the silence of the safe. You live in a quiet suburb, your house is insulated, your car is silent. We have eliminated all the background noise of life. Our ancestors lived with the constant hum of nature, the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, the sound of other humans talking and moving around. Your brain was built to process this constant stream of information. When you remove it, your brain starts to create its own. This is a common theory behind why so many people today experience tinnitus or ear ringing. Your auditory system, in the absence of real noise, starts generating phantom sounds to fill the void. It's a very literal example of your brain getting bored and starting to make up problems. It's also why so many of us can't handle true silence. We immediately reach for a podcast, music, or a TV show. We are addicted to noise because the absence of it is an uncomfortable reminder that our perfectly quiet world is unnaturally empty. We're losing the ability to just be, to listen to our own thoughts, all because we've sanitized our world into a place where there is nothing to hear. Number 6, the decline of empathy. In a perfectly safe, curated world, we don't have to deal with other people's problems. We can unfollow, block, or mute anyone who makes us uncomfortable. We have sanitized our social interactions to the point where we only engage with people who agree with us and reflect our own perfect lit little lives back to us. This is psychologically toxic. Empathy is a skill, and like any skill, it atrophies with disuse. Our brains are hardwired to read body language, to understand tone, and to feel a sense of shared humanity with others. But when our only interactions are through a screen, we lose that capacity. We see people not as complex, flawed human beings, but as two-dimensional characters. This is why online arguments escalate so quickly. We're not arguing with a person, we're arguing with a username. Our safe, filtered lives are making us less human, turning us into isolated islands who can't understand or connect with the pain and struggles of others. Number 5, the hidden dangers of perfection. The modern world tells us that perfection is the goal. A perfect body, a perfect job, a perfect life. We have endless tools to pursue this perfection. Photo filters, diet plans, self-help gurus. But your brain knows perfection doesn't exist. It's an asymptote, a line you can get infinitely close to, but never actually touch. The endless pursuit of an impossible goal is a one-way ticket to anxiety and depression. When you base your self-worth on an unattainable standard, you are setting yourself up for guaranteed failure. The more you chase it, the more you realize it's a mirage. Our safe, stable lives have given us the time and resources to chase this ghost, and in doing so, they've made us miserable. Our ancestors had no time for perfection. They were too busy surviving. They didn't need to be perfect to be worthy. They just needed to be alive. Our obsession with a flawless existence is making us fragile, unsatisfied, and deeply unhappy. Bạn có muốn mình chép tiếp số 4 đến số 1 luôn cho trọn bộ không? Okay, mình sẽ chép lại y nguyên đoạn bạn vừa gửi, không thay đổi gì. Number 4, the unseen monster. In the past, danger was tangible. A lion, a famine, a flood. You could see it, run from it, or fight it. In a perfectly safe life, the biggest dangers are invisible. They're chemicals in our food, radiation from our devices, microplastics in our water. These are not threats we can fight with our fists or flee from with our legs. Our brains have no way to process them, so they file them under vague, low-level dread. This is a new type of anxiety, a constant, low-level hum of unease that we can't quite put our finger on. It's the feeling that something, somewhere, is slowly poisoning you, but you can't see it or prove it. Our ancient brains, built to fight physical threats, are now powerless against these unseen monsters, and the helplessness makes us feel constantly on edge. The very safety we've built has introduced a new kind of terror, a creeping dread of the things we can't see. Number 3, the comfort of not knowing. In the past, if you wanted to learn something, you had to actively seek out the information. You had to talk to experts, read books, or travel. Your brain was a problem-solving machine that was rewarded for the effort of discovery. Now, all information is a click away. We have given ourselves the comfort of not knowing anything until we need to, and our brains have grown lazy because of it. We don't need to remember facts. We just need to remember how to Google them. This is leading to a decline in something called cognitive fluency. We are losing the ability to connect disparate ideas, to think critically, and to form our own complex conclusions. The danger of this is subtle but profound. When we are fed a constant stream of bite-sized, pre-digested information, we lose the capacity to think for ourselves. We become intellectually passive, content with simple answers, and unwilling to do the hard work of deep thought. Our safe, information-saturated lives have turned our brains from a powerful tool into a simple search engine. Number 2, the lack of physical struggle. Our bodies were built for struggle. They were built to run from predators, climb trees for food, and lift heavy things. Our modern world has removed almost all physical struggle. We have escalators, power steering, and delivery services. The lack of this foundational physical challenge is having a catastrophic effect on our mental health. There is a deep, primal satisfaction that comes from pushing your body to its limit. It releases endorphins, reduces stress, and gives you a sense of accomplishment. When we remove this, we are left with a psychological void. This is why so many people are drawn to extreme sports, marathons, or intense workout routines. They are instinctively trying to reintroduce the struggle that our modern world has eliminated. But for most of us, that's not enough. We are living lives of physical ease and mental malaise, all because we have removed the one thing our bodies need most, the challenge of physical hardship. Number 1, the loss of the hard reset. In a safe, predictable life, you never get a hard reset. You never have to face a situation so fundamentally life-changing that it forces you to reevaluate everything. Our ancestors had these all the time: a bad harvest, a village raid, a sickness that wiped out half the population. These were terrible events, but they served a purpose. They were a hard reset for the human spirit. They forced people to reconnect with what was truly important: community, family, and survival. In our perfectly safe lives, we never get this. Our problems are small and constant: a difficult boss, a bad breakup, a financial setback. They are not big enough to force a total reset, so we just get bogged down by them, year after year. The danger of a perfectly safe life is that it traps us in our own low-level misery. It removes the grand, terrible, life-altering events that remind us we are human and that what we have is precious. We've replaced the fear of a lion with the anxiety of 1,000 tiny, unkillable gnats, and that, my friends, is a fate far worse than death. Vậy là bạn đã có trọn bộ từ 15 đến 1 rồi. Bạn có muốn mình gom toàn bộ lại thành một file sạch, sắp xếp đầy đủ để bạn tiện sử dụng không?